You said you were skinny before you started bodybuilding. When we say skinny, how much did you weigh?
60 kilos. What's that in pounds?
What's like 145?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was skinny. Bones everywhere, bro. Your social media is pretty big. It looks like you have a lot of fun on there.
Come on, look at me, bro.
Is it a good time?
It's all about fun with me, bro. It's all about good time.
You gotta keep it lighthearted, right?
Hell yeah, balance. You can't be so serious all the time. I'm sorry, guys, now because I know you guys are American, but the food out here is garbage.
we know.
Even the meat. You know, when I started working out when I was like 14. You know, 14 years old, 12 years old. You're going to the beach like, you know, you don't want to take your top off because you're too skinny. Not having English, people will say all kinds of racist shit to you, and so all that is what kind of drove me to working out. When I was 9, my mother and my dad, they decided to send myself to Europe for better education, better life. So we were provided with fake name, fake passport, and this stranger, he brought myself and my brother to Ireland and just dropped us off at an immigration door, which is a good luck. Coming from Nigeria as a kid, you on the farm, picking crops and firing cheetah or tiger for a leftover meat. My goal in life is still be the best at what I do. I'm chasing greatness. But if your goal is not to be Mr. Olympia, to step on the Olympic stage, you've got no business talking steroids. There's a guy today I met today, goes, bro, you're so famous in China. I said, yeah, I know. Ni hao.
Power Project family, how's it going? And listen up. We talk about meat and nutrition all the time on this podcast, from the carnivore diet, keto, low carb, IFYM. And the cool thing is that we've partnered with a great company, Piedmontese beef. Yes, it's beef. And the great thing about Piedmontese beef is this: no matter if you're someone who's dieting on low fats, high fats, carnivore, any diet, they have different types of cuts of steak that are going to fit your diet perfectly. From the flat iron that has, Andrew, what is the macros on that thing?
So that one has 46 grams of protein and only 4 grams of fat for the entire steak.
And if you want fattier cuts, they have ribeyes, center cuts. They have literally everything for no matter what diet you do. So you can't use the excuse of your diet and tell yourself that you can't eat red meat. So Andrew, how can they get Piedmontese beef?
Yes, man. So that's at Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Again, Piedmontese.com, promo code POWER. All links down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Damn, sir. How'd you get yourself so big over here? What's going on? What's going on with this build?
Creatine, bro.
I saw the video. You kept adding creatine.
It's all about the creatine.
And then you add more creatine.
Don't be afraid.
Add more creatine.
Trying to get big.
There was a lot of creatine in that shake.
It's all about the creatine.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's your athletic background?
Well, growing up in Ireland, we've got a lot of crazy sports in Ireland. We've got rugby. We've got Irish football, Gaelic. We've got hurling. What else we got out there? Yeah, basketball, I did that too. Soccer. I did a lot of sports. Kickboxing. And kickboxing was actually, I think, my last sport before I moved on to bodybuilding. And I did rugby for 3 years. Rugby's big in Ireland.
You said you were skinny before you started bodybuilding. When we say skinny, how much did you weigh when you played rugby? Like, how much were you weighing back then?
Shit, probably hold on, maybe 60 kilos. What's that in pounds?
What's
like
that
145?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was skinny. Bones everywhere, bro.
But like I'm skinny. So were you skinny? Like
yeah,
you're skinny?
You were big for me back then.
I'm gonna put that on my Instagram and just replay it all day.
You were swole for me back then, like that.
Thank you, sir. But that's incredible.
I used to get bullied a lot in school. So,
athletic at all or no?
Yeah, I was pretty fit. Yeah, like I said, I play basketball. I did Gaelic, Irish football, and then when I start to pick up the weight, when I start to train, I started working out at 14. When I started to get stronger, then I started doing rugby.
Have you ever powerlifted before?
No, never.
Any idea where your strength is at, or do you mainly just stick
I'm
with
pretty
reps?
strong for a bodybuilder.
What's that?
I'm not like crazy strong, but I think I'm pretty strong.
I'm imagining that you can squat really well and bench really well.
No, actually,
those
don't
big
squat.
ass shoulders.
I got bum ass knees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my knees.
What do you do for your legs then? How do you train around that?
I do a lot of leg press, a lot of axe squats. Now I actually started back to Smith machine squats. I hurt myself a lot when
we need to get you a belt squat.
Yeah, let's do it. Get me one.
Yeah.
We actually have one in Rec. Come on.
Yeah, I'll see if we can get one sent out to you.
Belt squat are pretty good.
Yeah.
Less stress on your back.
Let me ask you this: as far as your knees are concerned, what exactly happened? Like, what do you feel in your knees? Because we had this guy, knees over toes guy, on, and my knees used to be kind of fucked up too. Start doing his stuff, my knees feel like good. So, what's wrong with your knees?
I mean, I think mine's beyond repair. It's like, see my knee, right? I can't really show you right now. So the joint is like, I mean, you're just supposed to be like straight on. So my left knee, this joint is like, it's like this. So I can actually extend my knee. It can go, if I put my knee back, it can press all the way back. You know, and so I have a little bit of imbalance in my legs. So the right leg is normal, go straight on. Where the left's a little shorter because the joints are like this. So when I'm squatting or leg pressing, when the right leg is fully locked, when the left leg is fully locked, the right is still working because the left is shorter. Yeah, so that's been a problem for me. You know, I should try to get a one of them sole for your feet, just to kind of like, you know. Yeah,
even
improve the balance, even
heights.
out a little bit, but like it didn't really work out. I just started training with no shoes on, and yeah. Now I do a lot of single legs, single leg press, lunges, a whole bunch of stuff.
A lot of people think that you have to do squats to build your legs. You don't
It's
necessarily
actually,
have to.
Yeah, no, you do not. I mean, there's so many exercises you can do to build your legs. There's a video of me there because I train with Nick Walker as well. So one of the video, he asked me, he goes, bro, we're squatting today. I'm like, bro, I can't squat. I just can't. You know, I don't, if you're trying to like, if you let your ego get in, then you're going to hurt yourself. This is bodybuilding. Once the injury kicks in, you know, you're out. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, I can't squat. And then that video got picked up by someone and they were talking shit about, you know, how you gonna build up your legs when you don't squat? You gotta squat. You gotta squat. And I remember reading all the comments and they were actually lashing this guy like, dude, there's so many exercises you can do. You don't have to squat. You know, there's a lot of great guys out there with great wheels that never squatted. You know, so there's so many ways to, you know, to bring up the legs without squatting.
Your social media is pretty big. It looks like you have a lot of fun on there.
Come on, look at me, bro.
Is it a good time?
It's all about fun with me, bro. It's all about good time.
You gotta keep it lighthearted, right?
Hell yeah, balance. You can't be so serious all the time.
You know, though, like that's a really cool thing because, like, you, when it comes to so your personality shines through everything that you do, and a lot of bodybuilders don't have like when you put them behind a camera, it's just, you know, they're all about training, and although that's cool, I mean, I guess the other bodybuilder that I think of, and you mentioned him, that I guess you kind of remind me of, is Kai Green, because Kai Green, like when he speaks, like you see the stuff that he does, he has a fucking personality that people are like just magnetic to. Where, like, why'd you start doing all that stuff?
I mean, if you look at bodybuilding, man, you know, it's like, it's very hard to relate to. And that's why bodybuilding community is so small. That's why the sport is so small. That's why we're not getting, you know, the fair share on the media, because like they look at us as just meatheads. Yeah, and that's right. 99% of bodybuilders are meatheads. You can't relate to them. All they talk about is their food, what they squat all day, what they, you know, how much they eat. It's all about eating. That's all boring shit. You know, when you look at Kai Green, you see so much personality. That's why this guy is so famous. You know, and as well for me, you know, coming into the sport, and growing up in Ireland, you know what I mean? It's like, you've never heard of a great bodybuilder from Ireland. You know?
And a Nigerian from Ireland.
And Nigeria as well. We'll get to that. You know, as I told you guys earlier, you guys don't believe me. I was smuggled to Ireland at the age of 9. No English. We'll push that to the side for now. Okay. But growing up in Ireland and being a bodybuilder and trying to, you know, make it to the top, you know, it's very hard to be seen just being a bodybuilder alone. You know, so, and as well, Ireland, you know, we're like in a box, you know, and so me trying to get out, you know, just trying to, you know, I'm trying to find a way to be seen, to be heard, you know. And I just got this personality. I'm always a happy guy. I love making jokes. I love going crazy in the gym, while still working hard, you know. So I discovered that people actually are kind of attracted to this type of energy in social media in 2017. So I decided to quit my job and just focus on bodybuilding, you know, and social media skits. So I started making skits. You know, within a month or two, everything just blew up.
Haven't I seen you with King Batch? Didn't you do some stuff with him?
King Batch. Have I? No, but I've done a lot of stuff with all his friends. Okay. You know, out in LA. And so I started linking with all these guys that are not in fitness or bodybuilding because they like the energy. They love the skit, you know. So that's how my social media sort of blew up in 2017. And when people look at me, they don't think I take bodybuilding serious because of all the other stuff that I do. But they don't realize for me to get to where I'm at right now, it's not about being a perfect, great bodybuilder. Because still, I haven't really won anything yet as a pro bodybuilder, you know. And I'm out here, bro. Like, I'm out here with you legends. You know, Mark Bear out here. You know what I mean? So it's not about being a great bodybuilder. Personality carries you so far. You know, if I just focus on bodybuilding, I'll still be back in Ireland, you know, because nobody will know my name. Because bodybuilding is very hard to relate to. You feel me?
Yeah, when we seen you at the Piedmontese booth, it seemed like, I mean, you're just a big ball of energy, which is amazing to see, and it's very, it's just great to see, but it seemed like you were more excited to see the people than when they were coming up to you, which was, again, just amazing to see. But with Piedmontese, what are you doing with them, and can you tell us about, like, the benefits of eating red meat when traditional bodybuilders technically wouldn't even consider that a possibility during prep and stuff?
I mean, so how did that, I found, somebody told me about Piedmontese, actually, Adam Sher. You know, he told me about this. He gets all this tomahawk and amazing meat, you know, grass-fed, grass-finished, lean beef. And I think he promised me to set me some. All right, so he never did. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check out Piedmontese myself. So I got my wife to, you know, send the email out to them that I love their product and I would love to try. And I never thought they would reply back to me. And funny enough, Joe got back to me. It was like, wow, bro, and we've been looking for someone like yourself. I'm like, oh shit. So like a week later, they sent me out a box of meat. Oh my God. Like one of the best meat I've ever tasted in my life. And clean, lean. I mean, as a bodybuilder, you know, it's all about, it's not even being in the gym, you know, working hard, whatever. But if you don't put the right stuff in you, you'll never see the progress that you deserve. You know, when you work hard in the gym. So it's all about putting the best of you, the cleanest, you know. And one of the things that I struggled with when I first moved from Ireland to the US, I'm sorry guys now because I know you guys are American, but the food out here is garbage. You know?
we know.
Even the meat, the organic stuff.
I'm offended. I am so offended.
The organic stuff you get at Whole Foods, and that shit is so goddamn expensive.
That's why I don't eat there.
Yeah, no. So honestly, like I struggle with bloating and digestion problems when I first moved over. Because trust me, man, the food we have in Ireland, I'm not even, bro. It's like all fresh, like the best. You know, when you're talking about meat and super cheap. You know, so that's one of the reasons why, you know, when I found Piedmontese, I'm like, yo, I gotta reach out to these guys. And I reach out to Mark, they send me out a box. I'm like, yo, I'm hooked. And then from there, we just been, you know, it's been good. You know, so and I always wanted to meet the guys. You know, I told Joe, can you fly me out? I want to meet you. I want to meet the team. I want to, like, you know, do more for you guys. You know, maybe the same thing you guys want me to do on social media. We can always talk about content and create some and shoot some stuff in Nebraska. And then Joe told me that they're gonna be at the Arnold, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't actually plan to come to the Arnold because Recon One are not here. They're my main sponsor, you know. So I normally come here for Recon, but because this year they have no boots, and I didn't think I was gonna be here. So when Joe told me that people are gonna be here, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be there, you know. So that's why I'm out here, and you know, just met Joe and the rest of the guys. Awesome people, man, you know. Yeah.
And we should try to do is we should all try to meet up in Nebraska because that is.
Yo, we should go hunting, bro.
It is fucking
hunt
amazing.
some
out there.
elk. I am so down for that.
You know, though, it is really cool that you're using Piedmontese, because like there are certain cuts they have, and you know this, that are super low fat, high protein, and they're lean. And it's always made me, after we found out about Piedmontese a few years ago, I was just like, yo, if bodybuilders started getting this, because most when guys go into prep and they start dieting, a lot of them are low fat.
Yes.
So a lot of them have to stick to fucking chicken.
Yes.
And I mean, as much as people say, yeah, I eat my chicken, no one likes chicken.
No, bro.
But if you can have steak hit your macros,
extremely lean steak,
it's like it would probably make that process so much easier.
Yeah, and as well, you'll be able to hold on to more size, you know? You keep it a little bit fuller, you know? And that's what we're doing this prep. Like I told you guys in our prep last year, my problem was I lost too much muscle. I over-dieted, did too much cardio, but now, you know, we have different type of approach, and, you know, again, the right meat, you know, the right nutrient into me, that's making the process a lot easier, you know?
Did you gain a lot of weight fast when you first started training?
Oh, Jesus, no. I do not gain weight, bro. I can eat all day long. I will not gain weight. You know, the only way for me to gain weight is through proper training and dieting. You know, it comes extremely slow. You know, when I started working out when I was like 14, you know. And what drove me to, you know, to working out was, you know, I was really skinny. And I was extremely cautious about my body, you know. 14 years old, 12 years old, you're going to the beach, like, you know, you don't want to take your top off because you're too skinny. You got bones everywhere. And as well, coming from Africa, you know, not having English, you know, people will say all kinds of racist shit to you, and being skinny as well. It's like, like, you know, a lot of crazy stuff. You know, so all that is what kind of drove me to working out. Just want to be better, want to be stronger. And when I started, within like 6 months, I was able to put on extremely lean muscle tissue, you know? So that, and my strength went up as well. So everything started to change for me, you know? And I started to love it more. So like 5-6 years later, that's when I decided to do my first show.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
You're 30. So your first show was what, 24?
I was, my first show, I was 20.
20?
Yeah.
I was going to say, people in Ireland, are they more openly racist? Like, is there less, like in America, I mean, I realize there's tons of racism that still exists, but at least there's some shaming that would go on if someone was making racist comments, like the way that you grew up. I mean, I'm imagining there's not as many black kids in the community, right?
I mean, Irish people are like one of the nicest people you will ever meet. They're just down for fun. And look, if you ever go to Ireland, bro, you go out, they will buy you drink. They will make sure you have a good time, you know. But the area that I grew up at, you know, I grew up in the West. It was like, I don't even know, maybe 60,000 people or even less. Everybody knows everybody. They're a group of people we call traveler back at home. They're trouble, you know. So they don't care. And in terms of being open racist, no, it's not like that over there. People are very. They won't say to you. They might say behind your back, but like. You go to school, you know, there's certain type of guys out there, you know, like I said, travelers, they will say that shit in your face. And you just have to, you know, defend yourself. You know, that's part of, again, what drove me to the weight room, you know. So when I started to get stronger and bigger, no one would say that stuff. Of course.
It makes me curious. I don't know, obviously I don't think there are many black people or African people in Ireland, but growing up, going to school, like, were you, like, the people around you, all your friends, were they all Irish? Like, were there other African Irish people around you, or is that really, really rare?
Yeah, like the time we grew up, we were the first black people in that time that I grew up with. So all my friends are all Irish. Wow. Yeah, you know, and you know, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was easy, you know, but like, you know, maybe it was because of my background, coming from Africa, coming from having nothing, you know, no shoes. Living on a farm, walking from a farm with a carrying bucket of water on your head for miles and miles, and going through all that, you know what I mean? So like, you were used to the hard life, you know. You were used to, like, you know, tough shit. So none really could really penetrate your skin, you know. So growing up, and although we faced a lot of, you know, stuff, but that never really got to us, like, you know, because we were like. Just to be in Ireland alone and just to see a not different way of life, like you got to see like electricity, you know. You got to go to school. You have shoes on your feet. You got nice clothes to wear. Now you got phone. So all that's like you will endure anything.
And your mom and dad were there with you too?
No.
No.
Like I said, I was smuggled.
Yeah. Can we just let's get into that right now? I want to know.
Shit.
Yeah, go for it.
So when we were younger, I came from a very poor family, and I got 5 brothers and 1 sister, and the oldest brother he made it into Europe somehow. Yeah. Maybe he probably walked or by, I don't know how he did, but he did it, and we lost contact. We never heard from him, So when I was 9, so my mother and my dad, they decided to send myself and another brother of mine, it's like 2 years older than me, to Europe for better education, better life, of course, so we can go out there, maybe get a good job, and we can come back home and, change their life someday, so, and there's no way, we've no document or nothing. This is Africa. This is a home where you have nothing, so my mother was able to find a stranger, and we were provided with fake name, fake passport. Now, I can't get in trouble because I'm Irish citizen now, so it's all good. So we were provided with fake name, fake passport, and this stranger, he brought myself and my brother to Ireland and just dropped us off at an immigration door. It's just a good luck.
How old?
No English, no nothing. I was 9 years old. Wow. So good luck. So when the immigration took us in, they were trying to ask us questions, but we had no English. We don't understand what the heck they were talking about. Mm-hmm. We just told them that we have a brother here, find him, So somehow they was able to locate our brother that was in Ireland back then. It was like, what the heck? So he was able to locate us, he found us, and he took us in, and he became our guardian. Wow. Yeah. It was crazy, man.
do you? Because I have a lot of family in Nigeria on both my mom and my dad's side. Do you still keep in contact with a lot of family over there? Are they trying to get? Because we still have some family that's trying to get over here. Mm-mm. It's a process. So, do you still keep in contact with a lot?
Oh yeah. I talk to my parents every day. My older brothers.
How do they feel about what you're doing now? Being such like a honestly like you have
celebrity.
Millions of followers. Yeah, you're a celebrity.
I mean, at the start, when my because the goal was, she sent us over to go to college to get a good job and become a doctor. You know how it is. Yeah. African home. You either become a doctor or you're a failure. If you miss out on become a doctor, you're done. You're a back kid. They disown you. So what actually stopped me from going to college, I was actually pretty good in school because I studied hard because I know what my mission was. My mission was to become great, and so I can go home and help my family out. I studied hard. I got the course that I wanted to do in college. I was accepted, but I couldn't go because back then I didn't have my Irish citizenship. With Irish citizenship, you get some sort of a government support, so you can go to college for free. But because I didn't have the Irish citizenship and I wasn't eligible for that sort of grant, so there was nothing else to do. So I started to focus on personal training, working out, and then a year or two later, my friend forced me to compete. That's when I did my first show. So when my parents heard what I'm doing, they went crazy. They're like, "What are you doing? You're wasting your time and this and that." And after my first show, I got a great feedback. I was like, "Yo, do this again. You got a great, you got a great future ahead of you." So I did it after that, and I started representing Ireland all over Europe. Then I knew what I wanted to do for a living. I'm like, "Yo, I think this is my calling." Even though my parents does not agree with it, they didn't talk to me for like 2-3 years, but that didn't stop me from working because I believe in my power. I knew exactly where I'm going with this. So but now they watch all my videos and they see me everywhere, so they're happy now because I take care of them,
That's amazing. And how did you make your way to America?
So in 2018, there was a company I was working with, throughout my amateur year. I was with them for 5 years, the Polish brand, so I came out with 2017, I started the whole social media. I started marketing the Boogeyman. And Boogeyman became very popular in Europe. Everybody was calling me Boogie everywhere. So we had to launch a pre-workout called the Boogeyman with my face on it. And I was with this company for 5 years, you know, and everything looks good at the start, you know. There was nothing signed, but everything looks good on the paper, you know. Like, this are people you've been with for 5 years. You think y'all a family and this and that. And somehow we launched the product without signing any no paperwork. And I was promised a lot of things. Everything looks great. Even I picked out a car that I was gonna pick up when that first check comes in. And so after we launched the product, I did a tour of Europe, all over Europe, every single country in Europe. I was there promoting Boogeyman. That shit, it was going crazy, you know. So when they finally sent me the final contract, and I noticed that they have the Boogeyman, because I was young, made a mistake. I mean, you make mistakes when you're young, and I didn't know too much about business, so I never trademarked the Boogeyman. So what they did was they trademarked the Boogeyman to the company. And then when my lawyer discovered that the contract they gave me actually gave me zero right to the product, and then my lawyer did a quick research and she discovered that they have the trademark. I was like, yo, y'all gotta give me back my trademark before I can sign any and we're selling all over Europe. Product looks great. And then so they were like, nah, we're not gonna give you the trademark. We came up with the name. What? Y'all came up with the name? I'm the Boogeyman. So, and they didn't expect me to work because they're my main income, you know. So they're just trying to bully me to sign a contract. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna sign it. I'm gonna walk it, you know. So I left, and then a couple of months later, I went to my first ever Olympiad. That's when I met Aaron Singerman, Red Kawan, and I told him I'm a big fan of the brand. It's not like I want to work or whatever. And then 2 weeks later, back in Ireland, he hit me up. He goes, what do you think about collabing with us? I was like, okay, what does that look like? I said, the contract looks great. And they flew me over to Florida. Second time in USA. First time in Florida. I was like, yo, this place is paradise. And they asked me, would you want to move? I'm like, hell yeah. So I went home, and that was it. Been over here since, you know. Wow. So it's been a dream, man. Like they said, everything happened for a reason, you know.
How were you able to get yourself big? Because you said you were a hard gainer, and you said the food is really important. But what about the training? What do you do in your training?
Yeah, I'm a big volume guy. You know, I like heavy training and a lot of volume, and it's been that way since I started. You know, and I'm still doing the same program till today. Of course, you know, you change exercise and stuff, but the principle sort of stays the same. You know, so it's just consistency. You know, it didn't happen overnight for me. It was just a lot of years and a lot of work, and being patient. You know, a step at a time.
Like other than creatine, like how much were you eating? Because you know, like somebody like me, like I said, you know, I said I was skinny, but I'm trying to stop saying that. But like, was it more in the gym or was it more in the nutrition? Because every time you hear somebody say that like they want to get big, everyone tells them, well, if you want to get big, you got to eat big. And then when you think you're full, you got to eat more if you want to get big. But like, I also don't want to get fat.
Yeah, true.
You are definitely not fat. And you said you got up to 300 pounds and you know, it was hard for you to breathe and stuff. But like, what was it? Like, is it just a combination of both? Like, what happened there? Because I just want to get more details on how you like exploded.
Yeah. I mean, in life and anything, it's 50-50. Balance is everything. You know, you can work whole hard in the gym and then half-ass in the kitchen. Or you can do like half-ass in the gym and then go all hard eating. You get fat. Right. You know, so balance is everything. So I make sure, you know, I'm working my ass off in the gym and not ever skipping a meal. You know, so doing that over the years, and you know, I started off coaching myself. You know, I was able to get my pro card, coaching myself, and then I made my pro debut last year, and it was a lot of hype. You know, and I have to say it was the first time I ever experienced mental health issue. You know, because you know, coming from Nigeria, you know. As a kid, you on the farm, you know, picking crops and, you know, firing cheetah or tiger for a leftover meat on the fucking in the jungle to eat. So that shit tough you up, you know. So I never thought, you know, I'll be the type of guy that will ever suffer with mental health issue. So making my pro debut last year, it was a lot of hype, you know, because again, I love entertainment, you know. I always try to find a way, you know, to present bodybuilding to my audience in an entertainment way, because most of my followers, they follow me for the funny stuff, the skits, all that, you know, and they want to see me. My posts don't get crazy engagement unless it's some crazy shit, you know. They don't want to see all that bodybuilding stuff. It has to be fun, it has to be exciting, it has to be crazy. So I thought to myself, how can I present my pro debut to my audience and still have that entertainment aspect of it? Because that's what we don't see in bodybuilding. So, you know, being who I am, and, you know, I thought, you know, if the UFC guys are able to do it, we can do it too, you know? So, of course, being the boogeyman, I have to call out the mutant. The mutant is a guy called Nick Walker. You know, was a rookie last year, great bodybuilder, you know, and awesome personality as well. So going into my pro debut, and I thought, you know, let me call this guy a bitch. Let me see what's he gonna say back. So I did call him a bitch, and I said I'm gonna whoop his ass in 7 weeks, and that shit blew up everywhere. Oh, it's the mutant versus the boogeyman, and I got people calling me up. Yo, what's going on here? Are you guys about to fight? Because like you never seen it before in bodybuilding where two guys going head to head like every day on social media. His fans come at me and my fans are going at him, and it was just bad shit. So people thought it was a fight, and people that don't understand nothing about bodybuilding, because again, my followers, they're all entertainment. They just want to see, like, yo, what's going on here? I got people pull money on the boogeyman. People pull money on that. So it was crazy. It was quite entertaining. And so for 10 weeks straight, we did that. We blew up we blew up New York Pro. New York Pro was where we're supposed to meet. Yeah. And then, but my pro debut was a week before Indie Pro, so people were following that, you know, and it was a lot of hype, you know, and I totally thought I would destroy that show because I believed in myself, and I got what it takes, you know. But when you don't meet the hype on social media, it's a big downfall, you know. It's like, so this year made me realize, like, shit, somebody like McGregor, you know, it takes a lot of balls to create that much hype, generate that much energy going into a fight, and then get knocked the fuck out. How are you gonna come back from that? It takes a lot of courage and strength, you know. So I had to witness that this year because it was my first time. I never failed that way before in the eyes of everybody. Everyone's watching. Everyone want to see this, the mutant versus the boogeyman. But then I came up short. I didn't look good. I messed up, you know. It was bad. The whole social media came at me.
What messed up the prep? Like, what happened?
Like I said, you know, it was my first time prepping in like 3 years, because after turning pro in 2017, I gave all that time off to gain more size. Like I say, it takes me a lot of time, a lot of years to put on that much size when you compare in open bodybuilding, you know. So that's why I took that much time off. And then and after 3 years, you know, and I've gained all this mass, you know, like I went from like maybe 270 to like 300 pounds, you know. So you're dealing with a whole new body, you know. So you know, there's a lot of science that goes into that, and you need to be working with the right people. You got to have the right coach, someone that knows what they're doing, someone that understands dieting, nutrition, and understand the human body. You know, so we messed up. We didn't, you know, there was a lot. I'm so happy that we did, because now I've learned so much, you know, about my body and how to bring my body, you know, to that level of peak. You know, so we felt like that, and it was tough to come back, you know. So I experienced some really downtime after the show, because I felt like, you know, no one cares about me anymore. I was getting a lot of hate. You know, I hated social media. I just want to disappear. But I didn't, you know. I faced it, you know. I let people know I'm still here. You know, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be back next year. But, like, you know, when you're by yourself, you know, it hits, you know, you think about these things, you know. You feel like you're a failure. And it was a tough time for me. You know, I went through, you know, depression, you know, to the point where it was the first time there I had problems sleeping. I did not sleep for 4 months. I'm talking about not sleep. It was, I didn't know what the heck it was. You know, I thought I did all the tests. I went to get, because I was panicking, you know. I didn't know what I thought was my heart problem. I did the EKG, what's that? ECG
EKG.
test. And then I did another test where they pulled the stuff from the wire on my body where you're on the treadmill. They checked everything. Everything was perfect. You know, did a lot of blood work. Everything came back perfect. So I didn't know what it was, you know, and it was due to stress, you know, mental health, and you know, all their social media stuff. And I didn't know how to cope with it because it was my very first time, you know. So it was a tough 3 months. I did nothing. Some night, I'll just be looking at my watch and I'll be praying that the time goes faster so I can get out of bed. The only time I felt like myself is when I'm in the gym. You know, I remember I was talking to my training partners here, and they'd be like, I'm gonna be like, I'm not sleeping, but when I'm in the gym, I feel good. I feel energized. Because that's because, you know, your adrenaline, when pop kicks in, you know, adrenaline kicks in, and you're like, even though you're a zombie, you know, you're still able to get a good workout in because, you know, so yeah, man, that's the first time I realized that mental health is serious, and a lot of people are suffering out there. But you know, just whoever's out there suffering with mental health, make sure you're not. Just let you know that you are not alone. You know, because we're all here and we're with you, and just keep fighting and try your best to just, you know, stay positive. And trust me, you get through it.
Yeah. Did you watch like how Conor got through some of his? Because he does talk shit.
Yeah.
And then he has lost, but then afterwards he still somehow carries himself to where you're like, I'm still gonna root for him. Did you watch any of his like footage or anything like that?
I should never watch any footage of film. You know, talking about. Does he ever talk about, you know, him getting through?
I was just saying, like in general, like watching how he carries himself after. You know, he'll still show up to all the press conferences and all that stuff.
Yes, I do watch all that, and I feel like, you know, because I mean, I think a lot of that is like a pour on. You know, it's like, but when you back at home by yourself,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
You have to deal with it, because I'm still showing up on social media. Because I still got because I got all the sponsors. Even though I hated social media, I just want to disappear. I just want to quit. I want to stop everything. Right? You still got to post because you have sponsors. You got a job to do. You know. So I'm still showing up, but like people don't really know what you're going through. You know, mentally and when no one's watching. You know, but like you just got to face it head on and stay positive.
Yeah. Is that what you did, like to kind of get through that thing? Is just kind of face it head on, and then
I faced it head on, and at first I didn't know what it was, you know. Then I started to, because I don't really share problem with nobody. I never talk about because I don't know. I feel like nothing ever really faced me. So when I was going through that, you know, and then I realized by talking to my friend actually makes me feel better. So I start to open up more and talking about it, and you know, let me know that, dude, you're actually dealing with depression. You know, and yeah, man. So talking to people and you know, talking to my girl, you know, because I don't live with my girl, you know, and that's one of the problems. Well, I live alone, you know. My training partner, he comes and go, and I was lucky that I had him over here for some time. So when he went, my girl went as well. So I was by myself. It was rough, you know. And so when she came back, you know, everything started to get better because having the loved ones around you helps a lot, man. You know, because you know it's all about energy. You know, if you have the right energy around you, it's you know, it can carry you a long way.
Hey, you said you wanted time to speed up. That's very common because when people are stressed, you lose track of kind of where you are. You don't have anything else to compare it to, and so the amount of time that it takes when you're really stressed feels like it takes an eternity. You know, if you have like heat with somebody, you have a dispute with somebody, and then you know you're going to see them the next day, and you know that you want to resolve it. Those, I mean, it's only like 8 hours or 10 hours, you know, until you see the person, but it seems like it's forever, you know, and it seems like 3 days gone by the time you got an opportunity to communicate with that person.
Yeah, for real. I can definitely relate to that, you know. And that's why, you know, I try to, you know, maintain positive energy around me. And if I ever have a problem with somebody, it's like, if I ever have a problem with somebody, I just love to approach them and talk about it, and that's it. You know, because if you're a problem with somebody and you're holding grudges and you're not afraid to, and you're afraid to like speak to that person, every time you see that person, you know, this type of energy, so it creates some negative energy in you. You know, you can't focus because if you're in a gym and you're having some sort of a problem with another person across the gym, you know, when you see them, it's like you don't feel right. You know, you can't focus. You can't even. You can't think right. So the best way to do it is like, approaching them and let them know that they messed up, and then either you apologize or they apologize, and that's it, and makes everything, a lot better.
After the show, because you mentioned that you were going through a lot of mental health problems, but what was being said? Was it people just swarming you with DMs and just messed up comments? Because I think a lot of times, I don't know if it was that, but a lot of times people don't think that the person that they're saying shit to reads the comments. Because your following is so big, people don't necessarily look at you like a guy that's just normal and sitting next to them. They don't think that you see shit and that you feel shit. But was it that, or was it just the aspect that you didn't come in the way you wanted to?
A lot of it was the aspect that I let the people that believe in me down, and that I let myself down, and also reading some of the comments, because we all do it. We read comments. People don't realize that McGregor read comments, all these things, but you gotta be so. That's why it's like, and that it's normal, people have to, if you put yourself out there to have 1 million followers, whatever, it's balance, you can't have the good without the bad. That's what makes life so great. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us tough. That's what makes us strong. So if you're able to face that, you have to respect it. I did respect it. Actually, in a lot of the videos, I made fun of myself. I talk about it with my training partner. What's gonna happen when I don't show up? I was ready. I was ready for all the hate. I was ready for all the comment, because you have to ready for it. Even when you're doing things in life and you're winning. It's not, for me, it's not really good. And when you're doing that, you've got to respect that one smack to the face, because you're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. And that's what's gonna advance you to the next level. So I was ready for all the hate, but it doesn't matter how much well prepared you are, still this thing still gets you, and it's all part of learning. It's all part of being human. It's all part of growing. You have to go through that. Now I understand what mental health is, because when some people were discussing mental health, I'm like, dude, it's your choice. It's you just get out of it.
Especially with where you come from, because you've been through some shit. Especially because
I've been through some shit. I've seen people, sitting on the floor with no food for days. They can't move. I was that kid, walking miles with firewood on my head, bucket of water on my head, 6, 7 years old, on the farm, trying to pick some food, trying to find something to eat, so you become so tough, so I couldn't really relate to any man. I was like, dude, don't even talk to me about men. But now I understand mental health issues is real.
You think a lot of it had to do with maybe expectations? Because somebody making a bad comment certainly doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job, but something inside of you felt like you did a bad job. You felt like maybe you didn't prepare for it, and so maybe next competition you go into, maybe you'll set different expectations, and maybe you'll be that much more hungry to follow through on the small things that will get you the results that you're looking for.
And of course, it's when you want to be great, because my goal is my goal in life is still be the best at what I do. I'm chasing greatness, and my goals are so high. When people look, I'm like, that guy is they normally say I'm a clown, because I make all these funny videos, and no, we don't take bodybuilding serious, and it's people don't really realize, where I came from and how far I've come. When people truly do, yo, this guy, I truly.
That's jealousy from people, though.
I truly put in that work, so my expectation is pretty high, and I work hard, So when you don't meet that, sometimes it's kind of suck, But once you understand that it's part of growing, it's part of making progress, and getting better, you get through it, and it's gonna make you better. And I feel this year, I feel like I'm gonna present something that they've never seen before, and my goal is to become one of the best bodybuilders to ever do it, and I will do it.
I think the path that you're making is unconventional, and I think maybe that is a little bit maybe part of the issue that you're going through, because as I'm sitting here thinking of Ronnie Coleman and Arnold and Lee Haney, and I'm trying to think, I'm like, Michael Hearn has a lot of fun on camera, and he's bodybuilder. I'm trying to Kai Green. There are some. Callie Muscle has a lot of fun with it and stuff. but it seems like at the level that you're at,
Yes.
and with the way you're doing it right
Yes.
now, is just a little unconventional. And Kai Green's probably a good example of that.
Yes, I feel that, and because like most people believe, like in order to be the best bodybuilder in the world, you have to just eat, sleep, and do nothing else. Don't make no videos. Don't make no content. That's what you gotta do. But they don't understand. It don't work like that.
I don't know. Was Kai Green like messing around though on his way up, like on his come up? Like
No.
you're messing around like on your way up. You know, if Kai
was
Green
pretty serious.
if
You're
Kai
right.
Green messes around later on, after he's already been Kai Green, it's a little different than if you're the guy fucking around on the way up. I think you're just gonna get a lot of jealousy. You're gonna get a lot of people
you
being
would, you
like,
know?
you can't do
Yeah,
it that way. And
for
you're
sure.
like, I am doing it this way.
Yeah,
For sure.
And I think the people that are leaving these negative comments, you're following so big, they're not really actually thinking you're going to read it. They're more saying it to gain attention from
Yes.
your fans.
You know what's funny? Because I don't know if that's ever happened to you, right? Most of the time, actually 99% of the time, when somebody, because I like to fit into it. Oh yeah, you can, dude. You can never, bro. He's like, bro, I'm African, bro. You can never get to me. Doesn't matter what you say. You can never get to me, bro. Growing up in Ireland, I've heard all kinds of shit. I've heard the worst. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty tough. So when people comment on myself, like, okay, yeah, comment something like bad, whatever, and I reply to them like, yo, bro, thanks for that, man. I like it. He'd be like, yo, bro, you reply back, thank you so much.
so
bro,
funny.
I'm a big fan. I'm like, bro, you were just all they want is attention. You know, they don't really, a lot of it, they don't mean it. They just want a little bit of attention, and once you give it to them, they're like, it changes their. I'm like, dude, you just insulted me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what's up with that?
We had Chris Beast Mode Jones on the podcast, and he had mentioned something about regret. And he's like, it's okay to regret some shit that you shouldn't have been doing. And that got me thinking. So I used regret kind of in a future like aspect. So I played the scenario in my head that I forgot something for the podcast, and that feeling of regret of doing that. So that fueled me to make sure I had everything I needed, because that would have been my ass, right? So do you think you can use that moving forward from like everything that happened when you called out
Nick
Walker? I was trying to remember his first name. It didn't hit me. But do you think you can maybe imagine a scenario where you call someone out again and then you didn't win? Can you use that right now as fuel to make sure you don't ever feel that again?
I mean, you know, it's all about experience, you know, and with every experience, you'll become wiser. You know, you becomes you find a better way to deal with things. You know, so like next time, you know, I think I would deal with it better. You know, because I mean, you know, it's part of growing, it's part of growth, and so it's like, you know, that's part of the game for me. You know, it will always can happen. You know, and okay, I'll try not to let it happen, but like when it happens, you know how to deal with it. You know.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now I want to talk to you guys about Within You supplements. This is Mark's supplement line, and the amazing thing is Mark used to be 330 pounds. He was a fat guy, so obviously this stuff tastes really damn good. But another cool thing about Within You supplements is that none of these products are white labeled. Now what a lot of people do when they come out with their own supplement lines is they do something called white labeling, and white labeling, all that means is there's a supplement that's already out there, they take off the tag of that supplement, they put their name on it, and now it's their supplement line. Quite literally, there's nothing else like Within You supplements out there because Mark formulated these supplements with other individuals that he knows within the industry, like Joel Green, who we've had on this podcast. So you guys should check out Within You. We have amazing whey protein, electrolyte supplements, we have fasting gum, and many other things on the website. Andrew, how can they check it out?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com, and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
About like when you said you called him a bitch or whatever, when I was thinking though, was like, you guys are friends though, right? So what, I don't see much showmanship in bodybuilding. Was that your intention to try to start building some showmanship, to actually try to start building hype and interest in that level of sport?
I mean, my thing is like, you know, I have this goal, like, you know, I always saying like, you know, I'm going to change bodybuilding. I want to change bodybuilding. You know, I just want to make bodybuilding a lot more fun and entertainment. You know, trash talking is in every sport. Yeah. Even I just after watching the slap challenge, you see how those guys was trash talking?
Yeah.
This is where you put your face out and then you got a free slap. You know, so I feel like we can do that in bodybuilding as well because it's all entertainment. And if we can find a way to entertain people with what we do, we're gonna gain more eyes. We're gonna, of course, the price money is gonna go up. We're gonna learn how to sell a show. Like that New York Pro was a show that, even though I didn't show up at my best, that show was still the most viewed show ever online. It was crazy, And with that, we actually broke the Indie Pro broadcast actually broke because of so much traffic, because people wanted to see me what I look like before New York Pro. So what we did worked, and all the promoter, they love it. So my goal is, look, listen, if we're able to do this and more athletes start to put in a little bit of more effort, and we all able to do something like that, sell out shows. Because there's no money in bodybuilding, bro. The price money is trash. You know what I mean? And I believe we work so hard and we deserve a lot more. But like, nothing is free. You gotta work. You gotta, if you've just been a bum ass bodybuilder, it's like you ain't doing shit. All you're doing is eating your meals, and you're not willing to market nothing, sell nothing. You ain't getting none. Mm-hmm. So my goal is to be able to do this and sell shows and show the rest of the guys that, look, this is possible. We can do this. We can entertain the people. We can turn bodybuilding into pure entertainment. And I'm like that, we'll sell more shows. Like that, we're going to ask for more money. If you ain't paying me, I ain't doing your show. Stop paying us before we even step on stage.
What do you tell some of the young fans that come to you and ask you questions about performance-enhancing drugs? Like because we see so many young people kind of turning to that at such an early age. What's some of your advice, or do you just kind of stay away from that topic?
I get that question a lot, everywhere, especially in Ireland, because, they look at me and like, yo, it's like, damn, I want to beat that big. And you see this kid like, 16, 17 years old, and, a lot of them don't really know what they want to do. And then you see some kid like 18 years old, 21 years old, they're taking all these enhancement drugs. They're full of acne. You look at their face, you can't even. They take off their top, they're bleeding from acne, and dude, it's horrible, So when someone approached me, even there's actually one of my guys back home, he started using this stuff, and then his body started to react real bad for him. I asked him, dude, listen, what you want to be in life? You want to be Mr. Olympia? And his girl said, no, so you better stop. So when people come to me, they ask me, like, okay, what's your goal in life? Would you want to be Mr. Olympia? You want to be like Ronnie Coleman? I bet. Do your research, make sure you have an intelligent coach, and they will guide you and help you to the top. But if your goal is not to be Mr. Olympia, to step on that Olympia stage, you've got no business talking steroids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just want to look good? Dude, listen, I was natural till 21, 22, And even when I started very little, and people don't believe me, even before I started going into doing my research and started going in, looking up all this stuff, people accused me of steroids because the way I looked. So every time I was like, you on steroids, like 19 years old, 18 years old, I'm like, well, thank you, And then I discovered my publisher. I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to be the best of this, So I started doing my research, find the right coach, the people who understand this stuff, and making sure I'm doing it the right way, And one of my goals is to, show the kids that they're, that you can do this the right way. Take your time with it. Because all these guys right now they want to be Mr. Olympia now. So they're taking all this bombardment, all this stuff, and taking all that stuff. No, it's not going to happen over here. You got to take your time. That's why I took all this time off. I turned pro. I didn't step on stage. I didn't compete for like 3-4 years. Just because I can slowly gain that mass without having to, put my body in too much pressure. So if your goal ain't to be Mr. Olympia, you got nothing talking about steroids.
A really cool thing though, too, with what you're doing right now, like you have a big following because of your personality, but also I think people feel like they know you. Right? I don't see many other bodybuilders other than like maybe Chris Bumstead. I'm trying to think of other current bodybuilders, like the top guys. You only see like them go to training. They're taking a plane trip to Dubai. You don't hear them talk about anything. You don't know who they are. You don't know their personality. I think one of the reasons why this is so cool what you're doing is because people can get an understanding of who you are. I can't say I've heard full sentences about somebody's life, that's a high level bodybuilder. And when they say, oh, I'm trying to be serious, or they're serious about bodybuilding, that's also like, they're not letting people know who they are, you know? And it's really cool that you're doing that and you're being vocal about it, and that you're unique in that respect.
Yeah, man, because I mean, you know, all these kids, you know, they you know, they want to follow someone that they can relate to, you know? And I've had a story to tell, you know, coming from absolutely nothing to now having, you know, something, and being able to travel the world. You just show them that, look, listen, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter where you're from, you can come from nothing and have a lot. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys, you can't relate to them, you know? And I feel like, you know, if you put yourself out there, you tell your story, not shying away from your background or where you're from, you know, you'll be able, people are going to, all these kids will be able to relate to you a lot more. So when they see you, there's a lot to talk about, you know. And what helped me as well is, like, you know, with all these funny videos, all these skits, you know, so when all these guys, when they see me, there's a lot to talk about, you know. You heard them shouting creatine, you know, it's like, yo, that creatine video, it's not just about, oh, the meal prep, you know, the you squatting that, you know, that's, you know, people want to have something to relate to, you know, a story. Yeah, that's all part of, you know, right now, you know, it's like, you know, I'm writing a book, bro. It's like, I'm writing a book, you know. I want to have a documentary on Netflix, and I think it will happen. You know, last year we shot a lot of cool content. You know, we had Kai Green on there, and we had a couple of guys from a couple of producers. You know, they actually met up with Netflix producer. You know, they love my story. You know, they heard my story, being smuggled from Nigeria, the struggle in Nigeria, and then from Ireland, getting out of Ireland to USA. They love that story, and they want to go dive deep into it. So we're filming my series, because we thought I was gonna kill it, you know, indie and then New York pro. So all that kind of, like, you see where all the mental health comes in. You know, it's like, for me, every time I think about it, it's like, you know, when you throw a grenade, right, and it's supposed to explode, and you're supposed to get all these things, and then it just goes, and the light goes out. It's like a big disappointment. You know, it hits you in the face. You're like, oh, God damn, why? You know,
that makes a lot of sense.
You know, it's a big smack in the face, and you have to face it. And you have to face it, and you deal with it. You know.
What's up with Mrs. Boogeyman?
Mrs. Boogeyman.
You're married, right?
Yeah, I'm married. When he said Mrs. Boogeyman, when he said Mrs. Boogeyman, I'm like, okay, where you going with this? That's new. yeah, man. I'm married. I got married last year in November to a beautiful Irish girl. You know. Yeah, we've been together for like 8 years.
Wow.
And we spent the last 3-4 years. We've been, you know, distance away, you know, distant relationship, and that was really tough, you know, especially when the COVID kicked in. You know, like, I was stuck in US for like a year. I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't see her, and she wouldn't come over here. And there was another point where I was stuck in Dubai for like 4 months. I couldn't go anywhere. So like the last 2 years was really, really rough, and, you know, it was just time for us, like I said, you know, when you're going through a tough time, and especially mental health, you need your loved ones around you, you know. So and coming here on Pfizer, it's not that easy, you know. Like, if you're traveling holiday Pfizer, you can get in trouble after a few trips, you know. So you know, after 8 years, you know, we decided to, like, you know what, let's do this damn thing, you know. You know, so we got married here in Florida last November. So, man. Yeah, and she's actually moving over now in 2 weeks, so I'm excited.
Yeah. What I think.
So the Boogeyman's a married man.
Yeah, he's off the. Off
the market.
Yeah, there you go. What I think you're doing is amazing, because I'm thinking, again, like Conor McGregor, he's not, you know, the richest, you know, fighter ever, because he's he is one of the best, right?
Yes.
But there's other guys that you don't really ever hear anybody talking about,
honestly,
that are champions, right? Mm-hmm. And because that's all they do. They don't do any content. They don't talk any shit. Mm-hmm. They just go in and fight. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. That's a great, you know, way to handle it. But what you're doing is you're setting your the rest of your life up, because you can't bodybuild forever, right?
No.
But by the end of all this, you're going to have an entire empire because of what you're doing right now. I think that's incredible. And I think that's going to pave the way for future bodybuilders.
Yes.
Because they're going to see what you do, and they'll be like, that's what I'm going to do next.
Yeah, man. Conor McGregor, I love that guy, man. He's so inspiring, bro. And, I've been watching him since he started because, this guy is another guy, a story that I can relate to because he started from absolutely nothing. Again, the government welfare money and all that shit. And this is a guy who believed himself, and he's not afraid to show himself. He's not afraid to talk shit because he believed himself. He's not afraid to fail, So all that, like you said, it's not just because he's a great fighter. Because the guy's an entertainer, he knows how to get himself out there, he knows how to sell himself. The guy is a huge brand, he knows how to promote that shit. The guy's Conor McGregor is absolutely everything. And I'm sure Conor been watching Floyd Mayweather, from Floyd Mayweather to Muhammad Ali. He learned from all those guys. So you cannot see a guy like that and not take inspiration from. So I look up to a guy like that. I'm like, yo, if this guy can do it, I can do it too. Even though bodybuilding is like a phony sport, some people don't even think it's a sport. But trust me, anything is possible. So I really believe, I'm onto something great.
Absolutely. What do you think you said you got a little bit too small, like something happened, you did a little bit too much cardio, or what happened, why you think you didn't come in with a great package?
Yeah, like I said, I started off extremely skinny, so I'm like, what do you call that type of body?
Ectomorph.
Yeah.
Ectomorph, you can't hold on to size, your body does not want to hold on to size. So when I got to like 290, 300 pounds, my body was like, dude, get skinny, diet, So we didn't pay too much attention, to my body when I was dieting. So I was just doing all the cardio, I was just dieting, and some days we go like 0 carbs, which is, my body don't need that because naturally my body just want to calm down. So my weight was just coming down so fast because that's what my body wanted to do. So we got to a point where my metabolism is just so fired up. Like around 250, bro. It's like I depleted down to 242, and we was 2 weeks out, we were supposed to be cabbing up. But at this point, my metabolism is like, it's on the go. It doesn't matter what you pour me, I'm gonna just burn it all out. So as I was putting all these carbs in me, I was just burning it all out. It was hard to hold on to anything. So my body was using it as fuel. So it was hard for me to come back from it. It was a lot of muscle loss. So by the time I step on stage, I gotta use like dirty food that my body I wasn't used to, like cake. I never eat cake. I don't really do cheat meals, and I don't eat much. I don't snack. I never eat snack. I hate chocolate. I hate cake. All that shit. I don't do it because they don't benefit me. My body doesn't know how to process them. So we have to resort into eating all this junk food that should make me look worse. My midsection start to it wasn't looking good, and I start to spill. There was a lot of it was bad. So this time, that's why, everything we're doing, we're taking our time with it, very minimum cardio. And, I'm still eating carbs right now. I'm still maybe 300 grams of carbs. And this time last year, I was like maybe 100 grams, extreme cardio, Stairmaster. So this year, we stayed away from Stairmaster because like my legs are forced to go, So we Stairmaster, all that, my leg just flattened out. Which was a bad look.
Do you think bodybuilders bodybuild too much? And what I mean is, like, should they try doing other things, like whether it be powerlifting and trying to gain, because like Nsima here, he was doing bodybuilding, but then when he switched to powerlifting, he just got so much bigger, and then now this guy can walk on any stage and compete with a lot of people. Do you think bodybuilders bodybuild too much?
People are different. For me, I will not do powerlifting because I'm just going to end up hurting myself. And I feel like bodybuilding training and powerlifting is a total different. As I said, people are different. Like you see some powerlifters, they're skinny, but they're strong as hell. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you see some powerlifters, big as fuck and strong as hell, but don't have that much muscle mass. It's all fat. You know what I mean? So that training, it doesn't. Like you would respect, powerlifters, the people who squats a lot of weight. You would expect them to have like the biggest legs in the world. But when you compare them to a bodybuilder who only squatted not even half of the weight, so it's a different type of training. Like I train with Larry Wills. Larry Wills, like that's a guy you don't mess with. If you're a bodybuilder, you stay in your lane. First time training with Larry was like, okay, blast, Boogeyman. we're going to do my training. I was like, Larry, no, we're not doing your training. I'm not trying to get hurt. I'm a bodybuilder. We do my training. Oh no, Larry, if you're watching this, remember, you didn't last. You last like 20 minutes, you know. Yeah. The volume was too much for him. And if I try to do his workout, I'm going to end up hurting myself. There was a guy who tear his dude.
To respect.
Well, he got famous though afterwards. Yeah. He got a lot of sponsors.
Kind of.
You cannot try to impress Larry, bro. That guy is a machine.
Mm-hmm. Working off of what Andrew said, we've been seeing a lot of bodybuilders recently passing because of like different things happening, right? So what would be your advice to individuals in terms of taking care of their health? What should they be trying to do? Because when you get to a certain, like, number one, a lot of guys are trying to get to a level really fast, like you mentioned, trying to do things too fast. But what are the errors they're making that's causing them to just kick the bucket?
You know what I feel in bodybuilding? It's like, I talk about it with my training partner a lot, We've been talking about this for like years, There is no rules, bro. There is no like line. It's like like in UFC, they have doctors. You have to be healthy to fight. And I feel in bodybuilding, in order to do any show, you should show your blood work. Everything has to be in line before you can compete. And I feel like there should be a certain drugs that's not allowed that should be taken off. And one of them is diuretics. That shit is number one kill in bodybuilding.
They've got rid of some diuretics, right? I think years ago, but maybe not.
Yeah, people don't give a shit. Yeah, because there's nobody checking. People takes the strongest, whatever works the best. And I feel like definitely there should be a rules. There should be some sort of a rule, and especially going into the Mr. Olympia. That's like the biggest show. They need to have like some sort of a paperwork that that shows your blood work, a couple of weeks before the show or something, because it's what's happening. It's pretty crazy, and people will do whatever it takes to achieve that look, and that's when I was coming into the sport, bro. My health is everything, bro. And I always tell whoever's coaching me, when I get a new coach, I tell them, look, I'm extremely cautious about my body, and my health is everything. And I hate taking that shit. Oh my God, I fucking hate it. It's like the worst part of bodybuilding for me. I let them understand that, and they know where I'm at, And I just got a new coach, George Faher. And this guy's probably the best in the game.
Did he just work with Andrew Jacked?
Somebody told me that, but I'm not sure. I say he posted a picture with Andrew Jack.
Yeah,
so I'm not really know.
Flex.
Yeah, so I don't really know whether he's coaching him or not, because no one really. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. But I started working with him, so we started working together like just to start my prep maybe 6 weeks ago. And my goal is to find somebody who cared about my health. Longevity for me. Longevity is everything. So when you look at George's file, he had Kai Green. Kai Green's like, almost 50 now, and the guy's still looking great, still jacked as fucking healthy. He had Dexter Jackson. Dexter Jackson retired, looking amazing. Brent Warren. Brent Warren as well, retired, looking amazing. Those guys still look great. And this is a guy that beat cancer. And he's a doctor as well. So when I reached out to him, man, he was so happy because like, I've been expecting this. I said, what, for real? Yeah, so I am so happy and blessed to be working with that man, because he knows his stuff, and he's always on the healthier side of things, He's like, dude, like after the stuff that I've taken before, like, when he sent my first protocol, I'm like, just that's all I needed? Before I was doing like 20 things. Yeah. Now I'm only doing 3 things, and I'm looking better than ever. So it's kind of it's extremely important to have somebody in your corner that understand what they're doing and care about your health. Because a lot of coaches out there, dude, all they want money, bro, and they just want to win shows. As long as the client wins shows, because it brings them more client. So a lot of them don't really care. And that's why you see all these guys, dying and all kinds of crazy things happen. And yeah, bro, bodybuilding is pretty crazy.
Yeah, we all understand that there are no rules, but I've never heard anybody say it the way you did. You know, like there's literally no regulation on any of it whatsoever. So you can take whatever you want. And I also think it's very important that you said from what you were taking to now working with a good coach, you're taking significantly less, looking better. I think that's very important. How often are you getting like blood work done?
Every 3 months. Okay. You know, when I started working with this coach, the first thing he asked me was your blood work. You know, I was like, wow, I was so happy and excited that he actually cared and asked for that. So that's a big thing for him as well. You know, so every 3 months I make sure I get my blood work and make sure everything is in check and everything is good. So yeah, man, you have to take it serious.
Where can people find you, Boogeyman?
You can find me on Instagram, Blessing the Boogeyman Awodibu, TikTok. I do my little dance on there too. You know? YouTube, I'm on there too. What else? And I'm on this Chinese TikTok called WeChat.
Really?
Bro, I've been to Shanghai 3 times, bro. I'm pretty famous out there, bro. There's a guy today I met today, goes, bro, you're so famous in China. I said, yeah, I know. Ni hao.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man, it's truly amazing, a blessing to be able to do, you know, this and be able to meet all this amazing guy. Yo, like, I'm a big fan, you know, what you guys have done in the sport of bodybuilding. And I think, how did I find out about Mark? Your heart's always coming up everywhere, Facebook, Instagram. Mark Bell, slingshot, this and that. I'm like, who this guy? Then I started to look you up, and I started to read about you. I'm like, yo, whoa, this is crazy. Then I started following you and, you know, your work and stuff. So you guys have done an amazing job, and, you know, you guys have brought the sport of bodybuilding to a whole nother level. And it's pretty inspirational to see that you know, somebody from powerlifting can actually go out and create something as big as what you guys have done. You know, it's looking at that's inspiring me that, look, listen, I can do big things in this sport, you know. And that's how I always say to the young guys, like, look, listen, there's a lot of opportunity in fitness, you know, if you do it the right way. If you understand social media, you can really do amazing things. You don't even need to take nothing. Stay natural. Once you understand marketing, if you can market yourself well, you understand social media, you can do amazing things, you know. And I always try to tell the young guys that, and yeah, man, and I'm trying, man. I'm climbing up, and I'm trying to be like you guys, you know.
Thank you so much for your time today. Amazing story that you shared with us. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
Mark.
it.
Thank
Andrew,
you,
take
guys.
us on out of here, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. The Boogeyman gave you guys plenty of things to talk about, so I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you guys are on the iTunes or Spotify, don't be shy. Come over to YouTube and leave comments in the comment section. And subscribe if you guys are not subscribed, and turn on all those damn bell notifications. And follow the podcast at Mark Bell's Power Project on Instagram, at MB Power Project on TikTok and Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where can people find you?
I'm going to say now we're probably going to have a Clips channel, so check that out pretty soon. But at Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, at Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter.
You weren't supposed to say it.
I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness, weakness never strength. Catch you guys later.